Welcome back to State of the Nation. We're assessing the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari 365 days into it. Data feeds are still coming through in one place simultaneously right behind me on this screen. And I'm still speaking with the former governor of Imo State, Ikedi Ohakim, who is talking to us from our Abuja studio. Let me ask you this question. Let's take a look at the government's anti-corruption campaign. It has done quite a number of arrests of key past government figures, especially from your party, the PDP, through its anti-graft body, the EFCC. What do you make of these arrests in the fight against corruption?
Well, I don't see anything wrong in arresting people. What I see wrong is on the publicity. I can give you one example. I was in a city, and one of the foreign countries sometime last year, and then I was in a shopping mall when armed robbers came, shot on the air, and then was able to jack a whole ATM machine with cameras there. The next day, it did not appear in any newspaper in that country. When I asked one top police officer, I said, no, for the interest of our country and the image of our country, we cannot begin to flash such things in the newspaper. Only thing we'll do, we'll fight them internally. I believe there are so many things we can do, still fight corruption, without, every dog can eat shit, but we cannot be robbing it in our mouth. What is important is that people are beginning to perceive this country as very corrupt country, Nigerian people very corrupt. There are other countries more corrupt than Nigeria. There are people more corrupt than Nigerian citizens. We're not all corrupt. So the fight against corruption, nobody is against it. But then, the image of the country that will attract foreign investors is very essential. We must begin to project the image of this country. The president must be able to talk up on our citizens, not talk down on our citizens. Government functionaries must talk up on our citizens, not talk down on our citizens. And the citizens must also be able to talk about their country. Because this is a new administration. This administration has not held federal governance in this country. Everybody that has held position since this regime in the last 16 years has been PDP. If you begin to talk down on PDP, you are talking down on everybody that has performed in this country.
But the government is not talking down. The government is not talking down on the PDP. They are actually making it a level playing ground. The government has not talked down on the PDP. How do you respond to that?
I mean, the government is talking down on the citizens. I'm not even talking about PDP. You know, because when you say everybody's a thief, or when you support a prime minister of another country or concur that what he's saying is correct, we are not doing well for our country. We must be public relation consultants for the nation. You know, so that's the area I'm looking at it. The fight for corruption must go on, but then there are so many important things we must do to salvage this nation. Other than, I gave you an example of positive things happening in this administration, which is not being highlighted because every front page of any newspaper in the last 1 year has been fight against corruption. But we are fighting those who are corrupt. We are fighting those who stole money. We've not even started fighting corruption. You know, what has happened yesterday should be treated as yesterday. Our house is on fire. We cannot be pursuing rats or animals when our house is on fire. We must be able to come and face the economic challenges of this country as a result of drop in our oil revenue, as a result of the as a result of the security problems of this country. And that is the only way we can get this country going.
Let me just take it from your mouth there, the words you just said. Security is a major concern in this country. We have seen the President Muhammadu Buhari administration succeeding over Boko Haram on the one hand, but on the other hand, you're now faced with the Niger Delta Avengers as well as the herdsmen. Is there a way forward? What do you think?
You see, what is happening in Nigeria is not peculiar to Nigeria. The issue of Boko Haram, the issue of Avengers, the issue of people trying to solicit for self-rule is just like madness and abortion. It's happening every day, everywhere. It's everywhere in every country. It's the test of leadership that is very essential. These are international phenomenon. nobody should use it as an excuse. If you look at the development going on in Sudan, look at what is happening in the border between Kenya and Somalia. It's not stopping development. It's not stopping economic growth. So those things are minor things. We are not saying that it's very good that it should happen, but Mr. President should be able to manage them without even firing a pin, like one of his predecessors, one of the presidents that instituted the amnesty issue. He never fired a gun.
Let me just ask you one last question. Let me ask you one question just before you go, bordering on the economy. Let me just quickly ask you this question, bordering on the economy. The budget is the economic direction, of course, for this government, for its blueprint. Do you think that this budget raises hope for the Nigerian people?
No, I don't think so. It doesn't raise any hope.
Many thanks indeed. The former governor of Imo State, Ikedi Ohakim. I want to thank you. I'm afraid that we're going to have to leave it at that. Many thanks indeed. The former governor of Imo State, Ikedi Ohakim, for talking to us the State of the Nation. Let's quickly shift gears and get to the Nigeria's northeast region, where insurgency is being tackled effectively by the Nigerian forces there, and talk to the theater commander, Operation Lafiya Dole, Lucky Irabo. That's General Lucky Irabo. I want to thank you so much indeed for coming on State of the Nation at this time. Tell us about the Northeast. It's been quiet for a number of days now, getting into weeks. Is your operation still in top gear?
Thank you very much, Gimba. Well, that we've not come to the press does not mean that we are quiet. We are not quiet. Our operations are on every day. And just maybe for your information, only yesterday we had 2 of the Boko Haram terrorists surrendering to us. And in their testimony, they said they were tired of running from pillar to post. And I think that is because of the intensity of our operations that have made them to surrender. In fact, they came out with their wives and children. So you may not have heard in the news, but then we're not quiet. There's a whole lot of actions that are going on throughout the theater.
Tell us, is this war against the insurgents finally over?
No, certainly it's not over. Because we've not seen the last Boko Haram terrorist drop. We've not had any of all of them surrender to our forces. There are still 1 or 2 elements among them who still remain stubborn, and we're after them. So the war is not over. Even when possibly in time to come, we begin to focus on stabilization operations, shifting a little of the attention from military operations. You will still find some pockets of threat here and there in terms of soft fighters, IEDs, and all that. So the war is not over, and what I can assure you is that the threat is reducing by the day, and it is gladdening to know that our efforts are yielding these results, and we hope to sustain the efforts.
Just last week, Mr. President Muhammadu Buhari received in Abuja one of the girls, one of the Chibok girls missing from the Chibok school. And that was a positive light for not just Nigerians, but sympathizers from across the world and, of course, Nigerian allies. Do you suppose that we are inching closer to getting the rest of the girls?
Of course, that's our hope. By the way, it's not only one Chibok girl that was rescued. Yes, I've also read some commentaries. That Mr. President received one does not imply that that was only one. There were 2, actually. There was one that eventually we rescued from Shetimari Abo, somewhere in the southern part of Dole State. That girl, according to her, she's a GS1 student of the school. of Chibok, of the school in Chibok. She is not from Borno State. She is not from Chibok, but she is from Madagali. And then, of course, she was, taken to Abuja. And I believe that, you could use other sources to talk to her, and for you to be able to know that she's actually from Chibok. What I would think that should happen is having to focus the attention of the entire world and the larger Nigerian society to the fact that all lives matter. It's not only those who have their names written in some book somewhere more important than the others. So the second girl that was rescued, she's also Chibok girl. So for me, I believe that every other person who is under the confines of Boko Haram terrorists illegally, of course, will be rescued. But the rest of the Chibok girls will be rescued, and the rest of other Nigerians who have been held hostages also will be rescued.
General Lucky Rabo, Theatre Commander, Operation Lafiya Dole, many thanks indeed for sharing those information with us here on State of the Nation. And for you watching, well, thank you so much indeed also for watching, as we will ask you to join us next week for another fresh edition. I'm Gimba Umar, and this is State of the Nation.